Hey guys, tonight we're slipping into something special, your first Mech Spotlight moment. The room is buzzing with anticipation. Strings of fairy lights dangle from the ceiling, casting little sparkles on faces you don't know yet. There's a low hum of voices, clinking glasses, and one shaky mic waiting to be claimed. Your palms are sweaty. Great, your brain is a blender of half-remembered phrases. Even better, and somehow, this feels like standing at the edge of a cliff, except instead of falling, you're expected to talk. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Wherever you are in the world, Paris at midnight, Jakarta at sunrise, a tiny town in Wisconsin with more cows than humans. Drop your location and local time in the comments. I love seeing where this little sleepy English tribe is tuning in from. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You take your first step toward the stage. It's metaphorical for now, but also real, because speaking English like in Mick is all about owning your moment. This isn't a classroom test. There's no red pen waiting to strike through Rund or Gooder. This is performance English, street English, the kind of English that shrugs off the rules when it needs to and instead asks, did they feel what I said? And tonight, you start Smilla with the biggest challenge of all. Showing up. Your heartbeat starts to sync with the music. You repeat the opening lines under your breath. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. A broken bar, but your tongue tightens. Every sound feels unfamiliar again. Here's the cheeky reality check. Your brain's going to betray you. You will forget basic words. You might say something ridiculous like "let us begin the party time." But guess what? Most people won't care. Some might even cheer louder. One historical Mick moment that proves this: President Franklin D. Roosevelt's fireside chats. Radio, not party. Sharia, but his calm, casual English, spoken slowly and clearly, helped guide a nervous nation through war and depression. He didn't use fancy words. He just spoke like someone who wanted to be heard and understood. Kind of like you. Meanwhile, there's a fringe theory floating around that ancient orators, so like those in the Roman Senate, used theatrical tricks stolen from early stage performers to control their nerves. Scholars argue about this. Of course, some say they were naturally confident. Others believe they clutched rabbit feet under their togas. We may never know. But here's what you do know. Your first Mick moment doesn't require perfection. It just needs presence. So you plant your feet. You take one more deep breath, and then you say it. Hey everyone, a broken bar, and time slows down. The crowd quiets. Your voice sounds louder than you expected. Not bad. A little shaky, but also alive. You've just taken ownership of the space, and now the English coming out of your mouth feels like your sonata script. Not a textbook echo. Yours. The first laugh might come from a stutter, or maybe someone in the front row mishears you and laughs at the wrong thing. Doesn't matter. You nod and smile like you meant to say it that way. Confidence isn't being flawless, it's making your flaws work for you. Tonight's lesson, in short: get on the stage. Metaphorically, physically, emotionally, whatever form it takes for you. Speak out loud. Even if you mumble. Practice hello like it's your password to a cooler version of yourself. In fact, go try it now. Stand up, say hello everyone, with one hand raised, then bow like you just introduced Beyonce. Copyright. Too much? Maybe, but it'll loosen your tongue. Next time, we'll go deeper into how your greeting sets the tone. Think of it as your first spell. Cast it right, and the night is yours. You've made it to the Mick. Your voice is out there, your pulse is still hammering behind your ribs, but guess what? You didn't explode. That's a win. And now comes the moment that separates the seasoned Micks from the mumblers: the greeting. Good evening, everyone. Simple, right? Except not really, because those 4 words spoken in the wrong tone can fall flat like a soda left open too long. But hit them just right. You've got the crowd's energy wrapped around your little finger. Now picture yourself standing there, spotlight warm on your face. You clear your throat, say your first greeting, and nothing happens. No reaction. Dead air. Someone in the back coughs. In that instant, you learn a brutal truth. English greetings are not just words, they're tools of crowd control. Used well, they're magic. Used poorly, They're glorified white noise. So how do you upgrade from awkward to awesome? First, tone. This isn't grammar class. Good evening, everyone. Can sound cheerful, mysterious, exhausted, or completely terrified depending on your voice. Say it like you mean it. Sound like someone you'd want to listen to, because if you don't believe your own greeting, neither will they. Second, pace. You're not a YouTube ad trying to fit everything in 5 seconds. Slow it down, draw it out like a ribbon. Go a broken bar evening a broken bar every Don't drag it like you're stuck in traffic just enough to give people time to react. Sometimes, that tiny pause before everyone gets a round of applause. Magic number. Just timing. And third, eye contact. Even if you're faking it, pretend the spotlight is a big friendly eye. Smile into it. Nod slightly. Look like you're with your audience, not just reciting at them. One trick: pick a friendly face, or the least scary one, in the crowd and aim your greeting energy there. Boom. Instant connection. Let's nerd out a bit. Throughout history, public speakers have mastered the greeting. In ancient Greece, the proemion was the formal opening to a speech, a mix of praise, humility, and attention-grabbing statements. Kind of like you, but with more togas and fewer Instagram followers. And here's your fringe fact. Some medieval town criers, so basically the original Mxa, used bells or dramatic outfits to get people's attention before shouting announcements. Historians still argue whether this was performance art or just a cry for help in a world without microphones. Back to you. Let's give you a toolkit of English greetings, so you're never stuck shouting "Hi guys" like a broken record. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A classic, formal, powerful "Hey folks, how's everyone doing tonight?" A chill, welcoming, slightly cowboy "What's up, everybody?" A casual, confident, youth-approved "Let's make some noise." A high energy, works better with actual noise after "Welcome to the show, it's great to have you here." A friendly and warm, each one sends a different vibe. Use the one that matches your energy and your crowd's. A kid's talent show needs one style, a jazz club on a rainy night, totally different. Now let's talk practice. You don't need an audience to work on this. Stand in front of your bathroom mirror and say "Good evening, everyone." 10 different ways. Use different tones. Add hand gestures. Try one like you're bored. Try one like you just won the lottery. Laugh at yourself when it sounds ridiculous. That's part of the game. Here's your low-key challenge tonight. Record yourself saying 5 different greetings on your phone. Play them back. Cringe a little. Then re-record them better. This is how you build muscle memory for your mouth, not your biceps. And just to spice things up, here's a fun one. Try saying, "Welcome to the show," while jumping. Yes, jumping. Why? Because it shakes the fear out of your voice and makes you sound naturally more excited. Is it weird? Yes. Does it work? Also yes. You're not just learning English now, you're learning how to own English. One phrase, one beat, one greeting at a time. So tomorrow or maybe later tonight when your roommate least expects you to walk into the kitchen and announce, "Good evening, everyone." Then bow and smile and walk away like a legend. Up next, pronunciation. The sounds that trip you up, twist your tongue, and make you wish vowels came with subtitles. But don't worry, we'll tame those dragons together. You've nailed the greeting or at least survived it. Now we tackle the real beast hiding behind your charming smile, pronunciation. The thing that turns 3 into tree, beach into something far more scandalous, and focus into a broken bar. Well, let's just say that one's a minefield. You open your mouth, ready to impress, and suddenly English decides to play hard to get. Your lips betray you, your tongue forgets where it lives, and your brain says, "I did not approve this sentence." Welcome to the war zone of sounds. But here's the fun part. English pronunciation isn't about being perfect, it's about being understood. Think of it like tuning a guitar. You don't have to be a virtuoso, you just don't want the string to snap and slap you in the face. Let's start with the infamous TH sound. You know, the one that makes think and thing sound like you're politely blowing on a hot spoon. Non-native speakers avoid it like it's haunted, but it's easier than you think. A pun fully intended. Place your tongue lightly between your teeth. breathe out gently, and voila, you're officially 14% more British. Another biggie, the R sound. Americans love their R. They roll it, stretch it, and stick it where it doesn't belong. Water becomes wada. Better sounds like better. British English, on the other hand, likes to drop the R entirely. Car becomes ka. You choose your flavor, but know this, consistency matters more than accent. If you're going to sound American, own it. Don't flip between wada and wadu mid-sentence like a confused time traveler. Now let's not ignore the silent letter 7 inches of English spelling. Night has a K for no reason. Island betrays the S. Colonel is just chaos in a tuxedo. Historians still argue whether silent letters are remnants of old pronunciations or just the result of 15th century scribes trolling us from the grave. Here's your fringe fact of the day. In the early 1800s, a group of spelling reformists wanted to eliminate all silent letters. Imagine a world where psychology is spelled psychology. They didn't win, obviously. But honestly, respect. Back to the present, pronunciation is physical. It's about muscles. Your lips, jaw, tongue all need training. So tonight, we warm up with the English Mech's favorite workout, tongue twisters. Try this. 3 thin thieves thought 1,000 thoughts. Now say it 5 times. Slowly at first, then faster. Then with a microphone made from a hairbrush. You'll sound ridiculous. Perfect? That's how progress feels. Or this classic, red lorry, yellow lorry. It's short, nasty, and nearly impossible to say 10 times fast without sounding like you've lost a bet. Another pronunciation hack, exaggerate your mouth movements. Big lips, wide vowels. You're not acting normally, you're training like an Olympic announcer. Do it in private if you're shy, in the mirror, or better yet, while brushing your teeth. Nothing's more humbling than saying the 33 thieves with a mouthful of foam. And let's get real about listening. If you want to speak clearly, you need to hear clearly. Watch stand-up comedy. Listen to podcasts. Copy their rhythms. Repeat what they say out loud, even if it's something dumb like yo, what's up, man? Every syllable you mimic sharpens your ear and loosens your jaw. Here's one of the most powerful tools no one talks about, shadowing. You listen to native English, TV, radio, Mac events, whatever, pause, and immediately repeat it exactly the same way, same speed, same tone, same attitude. It's like karaoke for fluency. At first, you'll stumble. Then you'll start nailing the sounds. Then, out of nowhere, someone will say, "The broken bar was that you speaking English?" And boom, you've arrived. And don't forget to breathe. Seriously, good pronunciation needs air. Shallow breath equals tight mouth equals weak voice. Deep breath equals relaxed tone equals smooth delivery. It's science. Or witchcraft. Probably both. Let's end tonight's round with a micro ritual. Pick 5 tricky words you hate pronouncing. Write them down. Look them up. Say each one 10 times. Then say them in sentences like you're reading them on stage. Do this every night for a week. You'll be shocked. Next time, we'll tackle vocabulary. Not the boring apple, book, cat stuff, real Mac words. The kind that make you sound sharp, funny, or dangerously confident. But for now, go ahead. Say 33 thieves one last time. Loud and proud. Okay, now your tongue's warmed up, your th doesn't sound like you're sneezing into the mic anymore, and you've conquered Colonel without crying. That means it's time to level up. Vocabulary. But not just any vocabulary. We're talking vibes-based vocabulary. The kind Macs use to shift a room's mood, to make an announcement feel like a moment, to turn a regular event into an experience. You're no longer just learning words, you're building your onstage persona one phrase at a time. Think of vocabulary like your wardrobe. You wouldn't wear flip-flops to a wedding, hopefully. So why use plain, sleepy words when you could say something with flair? Let's paint a scene. You walk on stage, lights dim, a hush settles. You could say, "Let's start," and technically, you'd be right. But what if you said, "Let the night begin"? Here we go. Ready or not? Time to make some noise. Now that's a start. Suddenly, the air shifts. People perk up. You sound like you belong on that stage. English is blesseda and curseda with thousands of synonyms. The word excited alone has at least 15 cool cousins: thrilled, pumped, apt, jazzed, buzzing, stoked. Choose the one that fits the energy you're trying to build. Saying "I'm excited to be here" is nice, but saying "I'm pumped to be here" makes people think you just finished a Red Bull and high-five destiny. Here's a little linguistic trivia snack. The word awesome used to literally mean awe-inspiring, as in, the Grand Canyon is awesome. But thanks to the 1980s, now it mostly means cool. Historians still argue whether that's tragic or just the natural evolution of slang. Probably both. And let's not forget the power of emphasis. Say it with me. Intonation matters. You can take the same sentence and twist its meaning depending on the words you stress. Try this. I didn't say he stole the money, someone else did. I didn't say he stole the money. I didn't say it out loud. I didn't say he stole the money. Maybe I wrote it. One sentence, 7 versions. Your audience hears what you emphasize, not what you intend. Let's pivot to power words. So the darlings of every confident mic. These are your go-tos when you need to hype the crowd or smooth over silence. Unbelievable A for a performance that blew your socks off. Legendary A use sparingly or risk sounding like a sports commentator. Give it up for a broken bar, a perfect segue into applause. You've been amazing. A crowd pleaser, even if half were on their phones. Make some noise. A loud, risky, electrifying, best used when energy dips. Here's your quirky vocab tidbit. In the Victorian era, the slang term giggle emug referred to someone who smiled constantly. Can you imagine opening a show with, "Welcome, giggle emugs of the night"? Please do, at least once. For the culture, your job as an mic is to respond to the room. That means adjusting your word choice on the fly. If the crowd is chill and quiet, go soft and warm. "We're so glad you're here tonight." But if the crowd's buzzing like bees on espresso, hit AM with energy. This crowd is on fire. Build your word bank slowly. Choose 5 new words a week, not random ones from flashcards. Pick the ones you'll actually say, ones that fit your mouth, your style, and then practice using them out loud. In the shower, on a walk, whispered to your cat. Better yet, keep a vibe word notebook. Sounds silly? Good. Silly things are memorable. Divide it into sections. A hype words, A chill words, A praise words, A funny phrases. Fill it over time. Add examples. Try mixing and matching. Unbelievably chill, quietly legendary. Even if no one else uses it, you're building your flavor. And that's how you stop sounding like a textbook and start sounding like you in English. One last trick tonight. Watch reality competition shows with mics or hosts. Pause every time they say something slick. Write it down, then repeat it with your own twist. Next time, we're going to explore rhythm, why your delivery matters more than your dictionary, and how you can sound fluent even when you're faking half the grammar. But for now, you've got the words. Go play with them. Now that your mouth is full of shiny new words, let's talk about how you say them. Because here's a little mic secret no one teaches in school. Rhythm beats rules. Yep, let that sink in. You could flub a verb tense, invent a plural that doesn't exist, or forget a word entirely, but if your rhythm is smooth, confident, and natural, people won't notice. They'll nod along like you just dropped wisdom from the heavens. Welcome to the underrated art of English rhythm. You step on stage, the mic is warm, the lights soft, you open your mouth and say, "Tonight at Broken Bar we celebrate something special." Notice that pause, that emphasis, that tiny upward lilt at the end. That's not grammar, that's music. English, at its core, has a beat. Every sentence you say has strong and weak syllables. You hit the strong ones, let the weak ones roll by, and suddenly your English sounds more alive. Try it. "We are gathered here tonight at Broken Bar." Sounds like a chant, doesn't it? That's because native speakers subconsciously use stress patterns, emphasizing certain words or syllables while gliding over others. It's why I have to go sounds more natural than I must depart immediately, even if both are correct. So how do you get this rhythm into your bones? Step 1. Listen like a drummer. When you hear native English speakers, mics, hosts, late-night comedians, don't just hear what they say. Hear the beat. Count the syllables. Notice how they stretch, snap, pause, then mimic it out loud with your whole face. Here's a fun fringe fact. Ancient storytellers in West Africa, known as griots, used music and rhythm to tell history. They'd speak in flowing, almost melodic patterns that kept listeners hooked for hours. Historians still debate whether this qualifies as the origin of rapa or if it's something even deeper. Back to you. Let's take a simple Mick phrase and transform it through rhythm alone. Basic. Please welcome the next performer. Better? Give it up a broken bar for your next act. Even better. Alright, peoply, next up you're gonna love this only a broken bar. Same message, wildly different energy. And guess what else rhythm helps with? Confidence. Nervous speakers often speed up, run words together, or forget to breathe. But rhythm forces you to slow down, to pause, to own the space between your words. That's where the magic lives. Let's get practical. Here's a little drill you can do tonight. Ideally while walking or gently bouncing on your bed like an adult toddler. Say this out loud, clapping or tapping your hand on the strong syllables. Yes, we can. You got this. Let's go now. Do it again, faster, then slower, then add your own lines. Here we are. Feel the beat. Take that shot. Congratulations. You're not just learning English, you're training like a lyricist with stage dreams. Another technique, choral speaking. Sounds churchy? I know, but it's actually a drama technique where a group says lines together, in sync. You can fake it solo by playing a video of a speech or performance, and repeating the lines with the speaker beat for beat. You'll stumble at first. Then, suddenly, your timing locks in, and boom, your English now dances. And don't forget to breathe between thoughts, not words. Say, I just want to sigh a broken bar, thank you. Not, a broken bar, just a broken bar, want a broken bar, to a broken bar, sigh a broken bar, thank a broken bar you. The first sounds like a person, the second sounds like a chatbot buffering. Let's pull in a historical nugget. During the Great Depression, President Franklin D. Roosevelt delivered his fireside chats slowly, warmly, and with deep rhythm. People huddled around radios, hanging on every pause. He wasn't reciting poetry, but his cadence was soothing, like a human lullaby. He didn't need fancy words, he needed timing. Here's your reality check. Even if your grammar is perfect, if your rhythm's off, people might tune out. But if your rhythm feels good, they'll lean in even if you mess up every third word. Tonight's mini mission? Pick one Mick phrase and say it 10 different ways. Vary the pauses, the emphasis, the pitch. Record yourself. Listen back. Cringe. Repeat. You're building rhythm muscles that'll serve you long after you've forgotten the past tense of sing. Next up, we'll dive into stage freeze. So what to do when your brain forgets English exists and you're staring at a crowd like a deer in IKEA. But for now, breathe, speak, tap that beat. You've got the rhythm in your bones now, the stress, the flow, the beat that makes your English feel like music. But tonight we face one of the oldest enemies of every Mick, performer, student, and human who has ever had to speak in public. Stage freeze. It comes out of nowhere. One moment, you're speaking confidently. The next, your brain turns into mashed potatoes. Your mouth goes dry, your hands start a sweaty rebellion, and your mind completely forgets what the word microphone even means. You stare at the crowd like you just saw a ghost wearing a grammar textbook. Welcome to the blackout zone. First, let's normalize this. Everyone freezes, even native speakers, even professionals, even beyond K-tilde copyright. Probably a broken bar, okay, maybe not her. But most people you admire have blanked out in front of a crowd at least once. The real flex isn't avoiding it, it's recovering from it. So let's break down what to do when your brain suddenly decides to moonwalk out the back door and leaves you standing there with a spotlight and a half-finished sentence. Step 1. Fake confidence. You don't need to know what comes next, you just need to look like you're about to say something epic. Pause, breathe, smile, look up like you're choosing your words with wisdom. People will assume you're being dramatic, not panicked. Pro tip, use a filler phrase. Every Mick has them, little time buyers that sound intentional. Try these. You know what's funny about that? A broken bar. Now, where was I going with these? A broken bar? Let me just say this real quick. A broken bar. Okay, let's reset for a second. A broken bar. They're vague, they're casual, and best of all, they give your brain 5 precious seconds to reboot. Step 2. Redirect still blank, move the spotlight away from yourself. Ask the audience a question, joke about the lights, comment on someone's shirt, anything to break the tension. Example, you freeze. Panic sets in, so you say, okay. Real talk. Who here has ever totally forgotten what they were saying mid-sentence? Boom. Laughs. Relatability. And now you're not the frozen cat, you're the human mech. Historical freeze alert. During the 1960 U.S. presidential debate, Richard Nixon had a moment where he lost his place. He fumbled a line, hesitated, and blinked hard. Did the world end? Number. But it reminded future generations that even leaders can short-circuit under pressure. Some historians still argue whether that stumble cost him the election. Probably noted, but it made great TV. Step 3. Shrug it off. If all else fails, laugh. Literally laugh at yourself. Say, wow, my English just left the building. I'll wait while it comes back. You'd be amazed how much people love seeing someone bounce back. It builds trust, shows guts, and bonus, it keeps the vibe light. Want a fringe tip from the theater world? Some actors write secret trigger words on their palms, a word or symbol that jogs the memory or grounds them in character. Try writing breathe or vibe on your hand before going on stage. Is it silly? Absolutely. Is it effective? You bet your spotlight it is. Let's not forget your body. When you freeze, your shoulders tense, your breathing shortens, and your hands do weird interpretive dances. So what do? You move, shift your weight, step forward, gesture slowly, shake it off like Taylor Swift meant it. Your body leads your brain back into action. Still scared? Grip the mic stand, plant your feet, anchor yourself in the moment. Also prepare a re-entry phrase. This is a line you memorized that you can use anytime you need to restart. Alright, let's bring it back. Now where were we? Okay. Deep breath. Here's what matters. A broken bar. These are like escape ropes for your brain. You don't need to remember your last thought. Just move forward. Here's your gentle reminder. The audience doesn't know your script. They have no idea what you meant to say. As long as you keep moving, they'll move with you. Want to make this practical tonight? Practice controlled freeze drills. Say something like, hey everyone. Tonight we're gonna, then freeze on purpose. Stay silent for 5 seconds. It'll feel like 5 years, then recover using a filler phrase or a joke. Do it 5 times. You'll train your nerves to stop overreacting when it happens for real. And if you ever freeze so hard you feel like disappearing into the floor, just remember, at least you didn't call someone's grandma the Chicken Man because you mispronounced legend. That happened. It was me. Let's move on. Next up, slang, idioms, and that glorious layer of English that makes you sound not just fluent but fun. But for now, pause, breathe, smile like nothing's wrong. Now that you've learned to survive brain freeze and come out smiling like a champion, it's time to unlock one of the most delicious upgrades in your English Mech toolkit: slang, idioms, and swag. Because here's the truth, textbook English gets the job done, but real English, the kind that gets people to listen, to laugh, to lean in, has personality, flavor, a little attitude, and that means slang. Picture this: you walk on stage, take a deep breath, and say, ladies and gentlemen, this show is going to be lit. Right away, half the audience perks up and thinks, okay, this person gets it. Now say, tonight's event shall be most exhilarating, and suddenly you sound like a time traveler from the 1800s wearing monocles and disappointment. Slang connects you. It tells your audience you're part of the now. Idioms, meanwhile, make you sound like a native. Together, they give your English swagger, that special something that says, I'm not just speaking English, I live in it. Let's start with the slangiest of crowd pleasers. Lit. Exciting, amazing. That performance was lit. High pay, high energy, anticipation. You guys feel the hype tonight? No cap. Seriously, not joking. This next act? No coppa, they're insane. Vibe, mood, Energy. This room has such a chill vibe. Slay 8 to perform exceptionally well. She slayed that song. You don't need to know every piece of slang. Just pick the ones that match your style. You're not auditioning for a teen drama. You're building a voice that feels right to you. And then we have idioms, of those wonderfully confusing expressions that make English both magical and mildly infuriating. A few to keep in your Mac pocket. Break the ice to get people talking or relaxed. Let's break the ice with a quick shout out. On fire, doing really well. That last group was on fire. The yen. Kill it, perform with excellence. You're about to kill it out there. In the spotlight, a center of attention. Now it's your turn to be in the spotlight. Mic drop, a dramatic, confident end to a statement. Boom. That's it. Mic drop. Let's rewind to the Roman Empire. Shall we? Historians say gladiators had their own version of slang words and signals used in the arena that regular citizens didn't always understand. Fringe theory. Some believe this underground language was used to build solidarity and secret alliances. Gladiator gossip, basically. So yeah, even back then, people used cool talk to connect, belong, and survive. Here's your modern version of that. Slang makes your English feel like you belong. You're not outside the culture, you're right in it, riffing off the crowd, rolling with the energy. Buta, and this is Kia, don't overdo it. Sprinkle slang like hot sauce. A little goes a long way. Too much, and you sound like someone's uncle trying to go viral on TikTok. Cringe. You don't want to walk out there yelling, "Yo fam, tonight's gonna be straight bussin', no cap." Unless that is truly your brand. Want to practice naturally? Watch some talent shows or open mic nights in English. Not the performance as watch the hosts. Hear how they mix standard English with casual phrases. Study when they use humor, when they throw in slang, and when they keep it clean. Here's your micro mission tonight. Write down 5 slang words and 3 idioms you like. Not the ones you should learn, are the ones that feel fun to say. Say them out loud. Put them in a sentence. Then try to make a fake show in your bedroom using them. Example: alright ya all, we're just getting started and it's already lit. You better hold on to your hats because the next act is about to slay. No cap. Feels good, right? Still nervous? Remember that you control the slang, not the other way around. If you mess up, laugh. Try again. Even native speakers mess up slang all the time. And as a parting nugget, Shakespeare, yeah, that Shakespeare basically invented slang. Words like swagger, gossip, and cold-blooded all came from his plays. Historians still argue if he made them.